Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel and another review from the Toronto International Film Festival. Today I am going to be talking about Rental Family, directed by Hikari, starring Brendan Fraser, Takahiro Hira, Mary Yamamoto, Shannon Mahina Gorman, and Akira Emoto, and this follows Brendan Fraser's Philip as he becomes a part of this rental family service in order to fill specific roles in people's lives. And basically how that becomes intertwined with the personal side and the business side of it. And things get a little messy, I guess you could say. And this, look, I think everybody knows who's been following the awards circuit, following the festival circuit. The test screenings for this movie were through the roof. And people were saying, oh, Brendan Fraser's even better than this than he was in The Whale. And people are saying, oh, Akira Emoto is going to win the Oscar. All this stuff. This is the feel-good movie of the year. And then we saw it in Toronto, and it didn't even place. So, yet again, I don't know what that says about this film, but I can tell you that this is not The Whale. I don't think his performance is anywhere close to that level. And yet again, you can't really trust test screening reactions because they're very, very unreliable. I mean, people said one battle after another. The test screenings were, very good, but, not rapturous as we've seen. I mean, the movie's close to being a masterpiece, so, yet again, never trust anything that you hear before things hit the festival. I think that's certainly the case with Rental Family, which is a movie I quite liked. I thought it was cute, I said that in my out-of-theater reaction. And yet again, it's a very nice movie. Brendan Fraser is very, very charming. I'm really glad to see more than anything Brendan Fraser getting, a fairly meaty role, I would say. I mean, he's very charming and charismatic in this, very likable, as he is in real life. But yet again, I don't really see this as an Oscar nomination or, anything like that. It's just a nice movie that he's in. And I especially like the relationship he has with Shannon Mahina Gorman in this as the girl who he's standing in for her father. Well, basically they tell the girl that he's their father. And also the relationship that he has with Akira Emoto in this, who I will say, I think if there's anything that stands out about this movie, it is Akira Emoto. He has such a meaty supporting role here, and honestly has a couple scenes, as I'm sure you heard, that will absolutely break your heart. I was almost moved to tears by Akira Emoto's scenes in this, and I think he is absolutely deserving of an Oscar nomination. Yet again, this movie is not taking off in the way that we thought it was going to, so I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would love to see him nominated come January. Really, really rooting for that guy, because he is almost like the heart and soul of this movie when you really break it down. I also really like Mary Yamamoto in this. She's really great in the scenes that she has, especially with Brendan Fraser. And Takahiro Hira is really, really good in this as well. Very solid as the boss of the Rental Family organization. And I like the idea of Rental Family, right? Seeing how these people, fulfill these roles and kind of scratch an itch, so to speak, or fulfill a need in these people's lives in very beautiful and inspiring ways. But I think the explanation of how it works and the logistics of the emotionality of these dynamics and the deception, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Even after I was thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, how does this work and not end out poorly? And that's the thing with this movie. I think it is definitely one that wears its heart on its sleeve, but not everything quite adds up. I think that there are some great performances here, and there is some really good filming, especially this motif where you're looking through windows that was really cool. But this is also maybe the most bland and predictable story that I've seen this year. I mean, yet again, it is effective. It works. But every single beat that I would have thought of, they executed in this. And there isn't really much surprise to this narrative at all, except a few emotional moments here and there. And even then, some of that doesn't even really make a whole lot of sense in the grander scheme of the narrative. I also think that the score to this movie is extremely heavy-handed. and I think distracted from a lot of the great moments. I mean, there are some really cool moments of the score that I appreciated, but overall, it was just kind of cloying to me. And yet again, it sounds like I'm kind of down on this movie. I'm really not, but Best Picture? I mean, I don't know about that. And Hikari, I mean, I haven't seen Beef yet, but I've heard very great things. Very, very inspired show. So that's why this movie is a bit of a puzzle to me, because I'm like, not that it is hard to figure out at all, but just in the sense where it's like, I would have expected something a little bit more bold, a little bit more innovative. I mean, people were comparing this to, you know, The Holdovers. Like, this was going to be anywhere near as close to the level of quality of that film, and it's not. And so, yet again, it's a charming movie to take your grandma to, or your parents or whatever. It's coming out around Thanksgiving. I think that's the perfect release window for this, and I definitely would say go check it out. It's going to be an enjoyable time, but really don't expect anything too crazy. I know some people love this, but a lot of people, obviously, it wasn't their favorite from the festival. If it didn't even place, I mean, this feels like a movie that was catered to win People's Choice, and the fact that it didn't even take off in that regard says a lot. So I don't really see this being a huge awards prospect at all. Maybe Brendan Fraser gets into the Globes. I'd love to see Akira Emoto ride that wave, because just, you know, he is that strong, and I really would love to see him coast on just the strength of his performance alone. But, you know, politics gets in the way. Not always the case. So, yet again, check this one out. I think it's going to be a good time. It's charming. It has its great moments of humor. I definitely chuckled a lot throughout the runtime, but don't expect it to be the greatest thing since sliced bread or anything, right? So, on that note, I'm going to give Rental Family a strong 7 out of 10. Yet again, it's a good movie, but not one of the very best of the year by any means, but I definitely don't think that you'll dislike it if you go out and see it. And I do think it is worth a watch around the holiday season. You know, maybe it'll bring the spirit up, you know, bring some positive vibes your way, and then some. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Rental Family, and if you've seen it, please let me know down in the comments below what you think of it. Is it one of your favorite movies of the year? I'd really love to hear why. And, of course, please smash the like button, subscribe to this channel if you want to see more reviews like this, if you want to see more TIFF reviews. My next one up on the chopping block is Dead Man's Wire, the latest from Gus Van Sant, and I'm very, very excited to talk about that movie for many of reasons. But, yeah, so stay on the lookout for that, and, of course, so much more. My review of The Smashing Machine is also going to be probably the next video I do. So, yeah, a lot of things to look forward to on the channel and just in movies in general. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.